Good evening, everyone. Angie here, welcoming you to N3 Primetime, where we've got an electrifying lineup for you tonight. First up, Elon Musk sounds the alarm on World War III, spotlighting America's delicate position amidst global power plays. We're also diving deep into the chaotic race for House Speaker, with Trump quipping only Jesus could secure a win. And a surprising twist, Americans are stockpiling ammo like never before, sending prices skyrocketing. Plus, a shocking UN map has surfaced guiding migrants straight to the U.S. border. What's the UN really up to? Stay tuned for our comments section where we'll be diving deep into your thoughts and opinions. And don't miss our Looking at You segment spotlighting a major player causing ripples across the nation. Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. Over to you, Gary.
Good evening, America. Welcome to N3 Primetime. Tonight, we're cutting through the noise to the heart of what matters. We're peeling back the curtain on stories that hit home. From Elon Musk's stark warning of a potential global conflict to the power struggle shaking the very foundations of the House. Amidst this, Americans are reacting, with a surge in ammunition buying reflecting deep-seated national anxieties. And let's not ignore the curious case of the UN map outlining a trail for migrants straight to our doorstep. These aren't just headline folks, they are the emerging chapters of our story's country, a narrative that pivots on strength, sovereignty, and the sanctity of the American dream. And speaking of dreams, imagine steering a ship in stormy seas. That's how our nation is right now. To weather this, we need a solid deck, which brings us to our partners at Noble Gold Investments. They're offering Americans like you the tools to secure your deck with precious metals, a steadfast beacon amidst economic uncertainties. Hear it from those who've taken the helm. No pressure, just genuine guidance. And right now they're offering a free 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful bullion coin for qualified accounts. Navigate to nextnewsgold.com and anchor your financial future. The number's on the screen right there, 877-646-5347. Give them a call. They're waiting to hear from you. They will answer all of your questions. And even if you're not investing, call them and tell them thank you for sponsoring N3 Primetime. But there is more on the horizon. Angie, what stories are charting our course tonight?
First up, a financial red alert. Car loan defaults are skyrocketing, hitting levels we haven't seen since '94. Folks, this isn't just about cars getting towed. It's jobs on the line and a potential economic tailspin in play. In political arenas, Perry Johnson drops a bombshell, bowing out of the 2024 race to back Trump, signaling a seismic shift in the GOP's power balance. Meanwhile, a Bronx eatery dishes out more than just mozzarella. Think narcotics, and right next to a school. Plus, Bud Light's taking a nosedive, paying the price for up to $150 million for snubbing their traditional base. And Trump's at it again. This time, he's got Romney in the crosshairs on Truth Social, unleashing a no-holds-barred critique. These stories affect your wallet, your safety, and your political landscape. So stay tuned. You won't want to miss this. Gary, ready to take the wheel with our first special report?
The haunting phrase World War III is no mere historical jargon or the title of a dystopian novel. It signifies ominous memories of past global conflicts and the devastation that ensues. When someone as influential and forward-looking as Elon Musk suggests that the world might be sleepwalking into another such catastrophe, it's a clarion call that demands immediate attention. Living in an era of advanced technology and diplomatic ties, one might assume we've moved beyond such a threat of large-scale destruction. Yet Musk's warning indicates otherwise. Based on geopolitical shifts, increasing global tensions, and the cyclical nature of history, his concerns must be taken to heart. But what does it truly mean for our future? Dive deeper as we unravel Musk's cautionary message and explore its implications in our final thoughts. Now, friends, with Elon Musk warning about sleepwalking into World War III, it's time to sit up and take notice. So if you're a patriot with a product or insight that the globe should see, step forward. By partnering with the Next News Network, you're not just amplifying your brand, no, you're championing the very spirit of our republic in these precarious times. It's urgent, it's now, and we're summoning you, the cornerstone of America, to rally with us. If you're as moved by Musk's alarm as we are, and you want to make a mark, visit sponsораpatriot.com. Together, we'll echo the Patriot's cry worldwide. And now, a dire warning has been issued by Elon Musk, a man whose insights and innovations have changed our world. And just recently, Musk took to a Twitter space, sharing his gravest concerns about the direction the global landscape is heading. His chilling warning: we are sleepwalking into World War III. Now, Musk's comments don't come out of the blue. A careful observation of the global scenario makes it clear tensions are escalating at an unprecedented rate. From the conflict in Ukraine to the growing dominance of China and Russia, we are in uncertain times. Watch.
This weaponization of the dollar, I think we've overplayed our hand in weaponizing the dollar with sanctions. So because you're now seeing a lot of countries de-dollar their transactions, because we've sort of forced it, and this goes beyond even Russia, China, and Iran, because countries like, say, Brazil or India still want to transact with Russia. They can't do it with dollars, so we force them to de-dollarize their transactions, thus weakening the strength of the dollar in the world. So, like these actions are strategically foolish, it seems to me. But like I said, we should just sort of stand back and say, what is the most important thing? The most important thing is avoiding World War III, because we may never recover from World War III. And I think we're currently have the risk of World War III is increasing rapidly. And I think if relations are renormalized with Russia, the probability of World War III is dramatically lower.
Relations normalize with Russia. Now, Musk is not just worried about a potential conflict. He's concerned about our readiness. America, once an unparalleled industrial giant, now finds itself in a vulnerable position. China's manufacturing might is on par, if not surpassing, our capabilities. And as the West wanes, an axis between Russia and China grows stronger, creating a formidable power bloc. Then there's the weaponization of the dollar, a strategy that has left nations scrambling to de-dollarize. Musk's cautionary words on this cannot be understated. Here's more.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at saying, to the point that was mentioned a moment ago, actually touched on by a number of people, that we're not fighting small fry here, or at least the potential is not a small fry battle. It is a massive battle where the industrial capacity is of comparable size to sort of the Western Alliance
or greater. Yes. I mean, at this point,
Correct.
China has more manufacturing capacity than the United States.
That is correct.
And Europe combined.
Yes, it's roughly on par. Let's just say, one could debate whether it's bigger but it's the point is that we do not have an overwhelming advantage in industrial might, and the foundation of war is economics. This should be obvious to everyone, but it's often at this point is lost. The foundation of war is economic power, especially industrial output. Basically, how many tanks and guns and drones can you make relative to the other side? That's what it comes down to. And in fact, it may be the case, if not now, in the future, it probably will be that a Russia-China-Iran alliance can outproduce the Western alliance. Let's just say the point is that in order for there to be a global conflict of a World War III, you have to have two superpower alliances like that where one cannot easily defeat the other one, and that is the case, and that I think is a massive shift in thinking. People do not understand. Most people do not understand. I think people on this call perhaps understand, but I do understand, but most do not. This is so. I think we want to try to avoid that, and I hope it is not something that is historic that where the tides of history are simply going to sweep us in this direction, because there's a strong argument that these things are actually unavoidable, and the tides of history will sweep us in that direction whether we like it or not. But we should try to avoid that if at all possible, and unfortunately, our policy has been forcing really Russia and Iran to ally with China. It's been forcing them. What choice have we given them? And so, and Russia has the raw materials, and China has the industrial capacity. It's frankly a perfect match from a war standpoint. So I think we need to stop doing that. It's unwise, and I think will lead to immense risk on to civilization. I just want to emphasize that, there's civilizational risk. There are tragedies on an individual level, tragedies on a community level, and then there's civilizational risk. We just need to make sure that we are not putting civilization itself at stake, which is World War III.
This de-dollarization not only diminishes the global influence of our currency, but threatens the stability of the international financial system. We must ask, are we amplifying the risk of World War III by our own actions? Yet for those of you thinking this is an overreaction, remember the implication. Musk's proclamation serves as a wake-up call. The foundation of any war lies in the economic prowess of a nation, and the West, especially the United States, needs to reflect upon its stance. Watch.
Using diplomacy whatsoever.
I think we are sleepwalking our way into World War III. Sleepwalking our way into World War III, with one foolish decision after another, as you outlined, David, and really people should be deeply self-reflective. If their predictions have not come true, they should consider whether perhaps their other predictions might not come true either. I mean, what is the track record here? It's not good.
Not good at all. Reflecting on the aftermath of World War II, Musk highlighted a fact often overlooked. The United States, the undeniable powerhouse post-World War II, did not aim for global dominance. Instead, it took steps to rebuild nations, including those it battled against. It's this ethos, this vision of a united global community that we need to remember. But we're at a crossroads. The decline in the power of the U.S. dollar, coupled with our faltering stance in global diplomacy, are clear indicators that our strategies may be outdated and ineffective. The Republic must reevaluate its approach, considering the changing dynamics of this century. However, the situation becomes even more complex when we observe the Middle East. The ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas continues to destabilize the region. As rockets fly and cities crumble, global superpowers are taking sides. America repositioning its naval assets and China increasing its military presence paints a very dangerous picture. This isn't about a singular conflict or economic competition. This is about a series of interconnected events, decisions, and power plays that could spiral into a cataclysmic conflict the likes of which our generation has never seen. Musk's message is clear, and it's one that we cannot afford to ignore. It's a call for introspection, a strategic reevaluation, and above all, for peace. Before we find ourselves in a conflict that might define our generation, we need to heed these warnings and strive for a world that chooses diplomacy over destruction. Now, the term World War III resonates with a profound unease, harking back to the tragic scale of past global conflicts. Elon Musk's assertion beckons every American to confront this looming specter and critically evaluate the path we as a nation are traversing. In the ever-shifting tapestry of global politics, regional tensions, and alliances, Musk's alarm isn't just a passing remark, it's a call to introspection. Ignoring such warnings and deeming them mere speculations risk the very fabric of our freedom, a freedom endowed by our Creator and enshrined in the Constitution penned by our visionary founding fathers. As Americans, it's our duty and privilege to ensure that this gift of liberty remains unscathed. Now more than ever, we're reminded of our responsibility to uphold these principles, ensuring that the sacrifices of our forebears and the future of our great nation remain secure and prosperous. Car loan defaults are skyrocketing. Angie, what is the latest on this crisis?
Recent data is sounding the alarm as we're seeing a significant spike in car loan defaults, the likes of which haven't been observed since '94. Here's what's particularly troubling. Those with average credit scores, known as subprime borrowers, are really feeling the heat. They're grappling with exorbitant interest rates, sometimes up to 21%. The consequences, it's not only about the threat of losing vehicles, but also the real risk of job losses, especially with an estimated 1.5 million repossessions on the horizon this year. And hold on, it gets grimmer. Experts are signaling that this could be just the tip of the iceberg. Credit card debt is spiraling, and car loan delinquencies might soar to an alarming 10% by 2024. We're staring down the barrel of a serious financial meltdown that demands immediate attention. Dive deeper, tap the link below. Serious words from a U.S. Colonel. Gary, what's this about being inches away from Armageddon?
Tonight, an urgent warning echoes across our republic. The U.S. stands at the precipice of a conflict with global implications, one that might drag us into Armageddon. But what's pushing us to the brink? Israel's response to a Hamas assault? And as Colonel Douglas Macgregor solemnly notes, the ensuing chaos could lead to cities like Tel Aviv under missile threats and Hezbollah's covert operation threatening our homeland. This isn't just about geopolitics, it's about our nation's safety. And with the stakes this high, you can't afford to miss a single detail. So stay with me, because by the end of this special report, you'll understand the magnitude of the danger we face, and you don't want to miss the final thought. Ladies and gentlemen, our commitment to delivering hard-hitting news is unwavering, but it's made possible by our trusted partners, the backbone of our operations. Just like we can't ignore global threats, you can't neglect financial stability, and that's where Noble Gold Investment comes in. Their team simplifies investing in precious metals, and many have testified it's honest guidance without pressure. With economic uncertainty looming, diversify into gold and silver and get a free 5-ounce silver American the Beautiful coin with select accounts. Visit nextnewsgold.com or tap more below to learn more. With Noble Gold, financial security is within your reach. Now we begin tonight in the Middle East. A region already teeming with tension now stands at a crossroads that could tip the global balance into chaos. The potential U.S. conflict with Iran, which could drag Russia and China into the fray, hinges on Israel's retaliation to a Hamas provocation. This isn't just a regional skirmish, the implications span continents. Colonel Douglas Macgregor, a voice of caution in these troubled times, has cast a spotlight on the perils we face. Iran, he warns, possesses missiles capable of striking key cities with Tel Aviv in their sights. Such an offensive could be retaliatory, especially if U.S. actions escalate tensions. Beyond intermediate military retaliation, Macgregor's insights revealed that the U.S. might be oblivious to broader implications, not least the involvement of major global powers. Watch.
We seem to be heading to war with Iran. Certainly the Biden administration is pushing us in that direction. What's new and interesting and ominous is that very few Republicans, the opposition party, are pushing back. Instead, some of the party's leaders are encouraging it. Former Colonel Douglas Macgregor is the CEO of Our Country, Our Choice, and one of the first people we turn to for analysis of events like this, because he is interested in what happens to the United States. Do you think that we are moving toward war with Iran?
Yes, I do. And it looks like the chosen destination is indeed Armageddon. There doesn't seem to be any real appreciation for the implications for us and frankly, for Europe and the world, as well as the Middle East, of such action. Then when you look at the military side, you have to look at the arsenal of missiles that Iran possesses. And they can reach out 1,200 miles with great precision, very high explosive conventional warheads that would do enormous damage, destroying whole city blocks in places like Haifa, Tel Aviv, even Jerusalem, though I doubt they would attack Jerusalem. The bottom line is that we need to think this through, and everyone right now is emoting. There is no thinking anywhere, as far as I can tell. The only possible exception may be, amazingly enough, Mr. Erdogan in Turkey, who came out this morning and indicated he was willing to mediate the dispute between Israel and Hamas. Whether or not anyone in Washington or Israel is interested in talking, I don't know. But if we could sideline Turkey and keep Turkey out of the fight, that would ultimately help Israel enormously.
So what would happen to the United States if we followed Senator Graham's advice and just began bombing critical infrastructure in Iran?
Well, all of the bases that we have in Iraq and Syria, unfortunately, where we still have over 1,000 Americans, all of those would be targeted. And this time, they would target them accurately, and this destruction would be wholesale. I would expect trouble here at home and in the United States because of the open border. Hezbollah has a very large operation in Mexico. There are no doubt many Hezbollah agents inside the United States. We can only begin to imagine the kind of trouble they could cause. The missile and space program in Iran is very advanced, as is their cyber warfare capability. All of these things would be brought to bear against us. But what's most important, I think, for Americans to understand is if we attack Iran on the basis of Hezbollah's alleged willingness to attack Israel if Israel invades Gaza, we will end up in a fight with Russia. Russia will not sit by quietly and watch Iran destroyed by the United States air and naval power in the region. And once Russia enters this, it becomes much more than just a local conflict, maybe more than just a regional war. We haven't thought this through. We need to do that. And I doubt seriously at that point that the Turks would be able to stay out. The Turks are Sunni Muslims. They are the de facto leaders of the Sunni Muslim world. They have the largest armed forces in the region. They are in close proximity to Israel. They could move forces south through Syria very rapidly. And I'm sure Bashar al-Assad, assuming he even survives the opening of this campaign, would not obstruct them. And remember, we've already used up many of our war stocks in Ukraine, and we've left Ukraine in a state of ruins, places on life support, 500,000 dead. What are we going to do to Israel if we press ahead down this road? And it seems, listening to Secretary of State Blinken this morning, who more and more sounds like our commander-in-chief, that there is no room for negotiation, no room for mediation. Hamas must be destroyed. We must go into Gaza. If so, I think we're on this very dangerous road to Armageddon.
But there's more than just global military engagement at stake. The U.S. faces internal challenges with Hezbollah operations potentially operating covertly on American soil. These aren't just foreign policy matters, it's a direct threat to our homeland. The narrative thus far has been alarmingly simple. Hezbollah, as Iran's proxy, launches an attack on Israel, triggering a cataclysmic chain reaction. As highlighted by Lindsey Graham's words, the U.S. could find itself embroiled in military action aimed at disabling Iran's oil infrastructure, all in alliance with Israel. But what does this mean for us, the ordinary citizens of this republic? It's a query that few seem to be genuinely asking. Instead, the focus has been on military might, power plays, and political posturing. If we heed Senator Graham's advice and target Iran's infrastructure, the retaliation, as McGregor underscores, would be vast and precise. Not only would American bases in Iraq and Syria face threats, but around 1,000 U.S. citizens would be at risk. Further, and perhaps even more daunting, is the potential economic fallout. A significant portion of the world's oil, approximately 20 and approximately 25% of liquefied natural gas, traverse the Straits of Hormuz monthly. This vital passage could see a shutdown, reducing oil from Iran by millions of barrels each day. The complexity of the situation cannot be overstated. The entire Middle East region is ensnared in this potential war, and it's not just Iran's game. As McGregor astutely observes, this isn't an Iranian monopoly. The war that we're staring at isn't a lower-tier conflict. It's a high-end conventional battle. Worse still, the risk of this escalation to nuclear confrontation is real. Israel in this turbulent theater is the wild card. With known nuclear capabilities, the uncertainty lies in their threshold for employing such potential weapons. And once that line is crossed, global sentiment could drastically shift. Presently, Israel's primary concern is the Muslim world's opposition, but if they deploy nuclear assets, the world at large may turn against them. The immediate threats, Hamas and Hezbollah, while significant, perhaps divert our attention from the wider consequences. Engaging in urban warfare like in Gaza carries substantial risks. The potential for civilian casualties in such environments isn't just a moral dilemma, it's a strategic one. The dialogue between Tucker Carlson and Colonel Douglas McGregor lays bare the precarious position the U.S. finds itself in. McGregor's bleak predictions shed light on the severe repercussions of potential U.S. actions, the threats we face domestically from Hezbollah, and the disastrous outcomes such acts might precipitate. In essence, a hasty and ill-considered response could set into motion a series of events that lead us into a horrifying reality, an Armageddon. not in the distant future, but one that might just be around the corner. Now, the portrait painted today is undeniably unsettling, but it underscores the necessity for clear-headed deliberation and a deep understanding of the global chessboard that we are playing on. The threat is multifaceted, from potential missile strikes on major cities to covert operations on our home turf. But as history has taught us, escalation is seldom the answer. Perhaps now, more than ever, it's essential to reassess our strategies, consider the broader ramifications of our actions, and choose a path that doesn't inadvertently steer us towards a nuclear Armageddon. The decisions of our leaders in the coming days will shape not just our future, but potentially that of generations to come. Every American should be alert, engaged, and hopeful for a future where diplomatic solutions eclipse the war drums. Now over to you, Angie. Perry Johnson's making waves with his recent backing of Trump for 2024. What is the scoop on that?
Big news in the 2024 Republican primary. Michigan's own Perry Johnson just announced his full support for former President Donald Trump, using Platform X to make his stance known. He's not just quitting his own race, he's pushing all in for Trump, calling him the unparalleled warrior we need to beat Joe Biden. Johnson's all about Trump's track record, peace deals, no new wars, booming economy, and he's not alone. Big names like former Governor Bobby Jindal are also jumping on the Trump train. And with the House Speaker race heating up, we're seeing a real power shift. It's clear the GOP's gearing up for a Trump comeback. And America's watching. Dive deeper, tap the link below. Gary, big news. Trump's just dropped a bombshell with a surprising House Speaker endorsement. Give us the details.
Good evening. I'm Gary Franchi, and you're about to embark on a journey through one of the most turbulent races for Speaker of the House that we have ever seen. Former President Donald Trump has broken his silence, offering insights that have sent shockwaves throughout the political world. His words, laced with humor and gravity, are bound to influence the outcome of this race. And with that, folks, this isn't just any news report, it's a special report, a dive into the very heart of our republic's politics. So whether you're a political junkie or someone seeking clarity in the storm, you'll want to stick around until the very end, because believe me, you don't want to miss our final thought on why all of this is so critical for our nation. Now, before we dive into the core of today's topic, let me share something. Picture the news we offer as the backbone of our operations. Now, every time you support our sponsors, you're strengthening that backbone, ensuring we keep bringing you top-notch news day in and day out. And a recent study has revealed it drives home the point that regularly stepping on a scale aids in weight loss. It reminds us of our goals, keeps us focused, and in that same spirit, there's a natural science-backed supplement that thousands have turned to, hoping to enhance their weight loss journey. If you're interested, head to Trim with Gary for an exclusive 51% discount this month. But now, let's get back to our story. So it's been a whirlwind. The quest to decide the next Speaker of the House has been nothing short of tumultuous. We started with 9 contenders and watched as Representative Jim Jordan made his exit. It's been a series of ups and downs, surprises, and, well, what some might call classic politics. Watch.
In the House, in the middle of the chaos, what is your message?
Well, I think it's going to get solved, and when it does, it'll be a beautiful thing, and it'll teach a lot of people about democracy. That happened once before. It's very tough with the 4 votes, with the 4-vote spread, but something's going to happen. It'll be positive. It'll end up working well. I'm staying above it. I have to right now, but I've spoken to just about all the candidates, and quite a few of them, and they're terrific people. That 4 threshold is very tough. It's a very tough thing, no matter who it is. I said there's only one person that can do it all the way. You know who that is? Jesus Christ. Jesus came down and said, I want to be Speaker. He would do it. Other than that, I haven't seen anybody that can guarantee it. But at some point, I think we're going to have somebody pretty soon.
Mr. President,
when Trump was probed about the chaotic state in the House, his words were, as always, unexpected. In a move that only Trump can pull off, he quipped about the one entity who can guarantee a win. Jesus Christ. Imagine that for a moment. Jesus as the Speaker. But moving past the humor, Trump did drop a reality check. He hasn't seen anyone who can guarantee victory in this race, emphasizing that the resolution is likely on the horizon. But amidst this fervor, a name is constantly echoing louder. Representative Byron Donalds, representing Florida, known for his staunch conservative beliefs that align perfectly with the MAGA America First vision, Donald seems to be gaining ground. Take a look.
What's your pitch going to be in there?
Look, my pitch is very simple. This is going to be a process where it's member-driven, not speaker-driven. We need to get back to work, secure our border, fund our government responsibly, and hold this administration accountable. And last but not least, our members, we got to be focused on purpose and mission. That's it.
There's been some.
I spoke to the president. I think the president is going to watch us through our process. I think he's going to be happy with who's going to be the next Speaker of the House. And I think, that's what's going to happen.
Do you want his endorsement, and what difference could that make?
Listen, I love the president. He has supported me. Of course, I've endorsed him. But right now, this is going to be a process of and by the members. And I think we're going to be done pretty quickly. Yes, sir.
Do you have enough experience to be speaker? Because that's a concern some of your colleagues have.
Yeah, actually I do. And that's because I spent 20 years in the business community. I actually was a member of our state legislature. I've chaired committees. I know the legislative process. I worked with our colleagues up here to get a lot of policies done, HR 1, HR 2, HR 5. Limit, Save, Grow. But last but not least, we have a lot of talent in our leadership team and in this body. It's not about one person. It's about all our members collectively. I'm going to go ahead and go in the room, guys. I'll see you later.
The whispers are getting louder. Endorsements are coming in, and the GOP's momentum seems to be shifting towards him. For example, let's take a look at what Representative Chip Roy had to say.
About your endorsement to Donald, can you
What made you decide to get behind Mr. Donalds at this point?
Byron's a friend. He's someone that I've worked with closely since he's been in Congress. Obviously, I nominated him on the floor of the House in January. We've talked at length about what he would like to try to do to move the conference forward, and so threw my support behind Byron. There's a lot of good candidates, but I'm supporting Byron.
Could you support any candidate of the 9 who are going on once it comes to the floor?
We'll see. I didn't sign the pledge thing that I was going around. I think we need to focus on making sure someone's going to lead this party in the right direction. We'll get in here. We'll hear from all 9. There's a number of good guys. There's a number of those guys that I can support on the floor. But we'll see how it plays out.
Do you still believe that Republicans have to unite in the room first before you go to a floor vote?
I mean, I think.
And here's the intriguing part. Earlier this year, Donalds voted against the former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. This bold move, this consistency is likely what's making him a favorite. The Republicans for the last few weeks have been, let's say, a bit fractured. The objective is clear, elect a new speaker, but the path, not so much. Another twist in the tale is the controversy involving Representative Ken Buck. He had to shift his office location due to threats, all because he didn't back Jim Jordan's candidacy. And it's no ordinary race for the speaker. This is happening amidst significant global issues and a looming election season. Now here's where it gets intriguing. Former President Donald Trump has hinted at whom he believes should lead the House GOP control. Reports suggest that House Majority Whip Tom Emmer has been the favored candidate, especially with the endorsement from former Speaker Kevin McCarthy. However, we learned that he did receive the nomination, but has since backed out. Now, if you thought Trump would hop on that bandwagon, think again. Trump's allies are gearing up to challenge Emmer's bid. They've started circulating opposition research on him, and the Pro-Trump War Room podcast recently painted him as a not-so-favorable candidate. One notable quote from Trump advisor Boris Epshteyn went, "If somebody is so out of step with the Republican electorate is and where the MAGA movement is, how can they even be in this conversation?" This suggests the need for a MAGA speaker, emphasizing that this is no longer the era of the old-school GOP. Former Trump advisor Steve Bannon also chimed in, tagging Emmer as a Trump hater. This narrative is crucial, as some sources close to Trump believe that Emmer as Speaker could cause rift between House Republicans and the probable 2024 presidential nominee. Reports from Politico shed more light on Trump's apprehension towards Emmer, suggesting that Trump believes the Minnesota Republican isn't his fan. Trump's grievance is not that Emmer has not staunchly defended him, especially post the January 6th Capitol incident. However, there is another MAGA-fitting candidate and Trump ally who has thrown his hat into the ring again, Representative Byron Donalds. If he clinches the victory, he would be creating history by becoming the first black House Speaker. Donalds has been vocal about his priorities, including securing U.S. borders and promoting a conservative agenda. The Speaker's race twists and turns also saw Representative Matt Gaetz, during January's tumultuous 15-round vote, cast a ballot for Democrats. But Donalds isn't the only one. Retired Marine Corps Lieutenant General Jack Bergman is also vying for the position, looking to bridge divides in party and focusing on bipartisan efforts. Before we conclude, a special note to our audience. The Speaker of the House role isn't just a ceremonial one. The Speaker holds significant influence in determining what issues come to the floor, what legislation sees the light of day, and how the House operations and politics play out. In essence, the Speaker sets the tone for Congress. In an increasingly polarized political environment, this Speaker race is pivotal. The outcome, whoever emerges victorious, will influence the political dynamics in the run-up to the 2024 elections. It's more than just a title. It's about the future direction of the GOP and potentially the nation itself. So, ladies and gentlemen, reflecting on today's discourse, one can't help but mull over former President Donald Trump's words with a wry smile. His jest that perhaps Jesus could only untangle the knotted politics of the Speaker's race is not just a quip, it's a mirror into the tumultuous times we find ourselves in. An age rife with political infighting, global challenges, and divisive rhetoric, it often feels like only a divine hand could lead us to clearer waters. Trump's jestful remark, though humorous, holds a profound undertone. The world is in dire need of leadership unity and perhaps a bit of a miracle. While we chuckle at the surface, deep down there's a collective yearning for stability and harmony, something only the heavens might promise in these trying times. Over to you, Angie. A Bronx pizzeria serving up something sinister. What's cooking in the drug ring debacle there?
Here's something you don't see every day. A Bronx pizzeria, Mexarella, wasn't just dishing out slices. No, they've been allegedly serving up a side of heavy narcotics. The owner's 3 men have been nabbed for running a drug ring right under our noses, next to an elementary school, no less. The cops found a shocking mix: cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, over 100 pounds, with a street value of about $4 million. This wasn't your small-time operation. We're talking major drug trafficking, hidden behind pizza boxes. And after a big bust, these guys are facing serious charges. It's a wake-up call, folks. These drug dens could be anywhere, even where we least expect them. Dive deeper. Tap the link below. Gary, it's chaos abroad, and Americans are reacting. You're covering the surge in ammo demand. What's this crisis triggering?
In an era where global tensions are mounting, the chilling whisper of World War III has led to a ripple effect that's not just on battlefields, but also in American households. As ammunition flies off the shelves, one has to wonder, are we gearing up for a catastrophic showdown? The ramifications of such events are not lost on keen observers like Elon Musk and Colonel Douglas McGregor, both of whom have sounded alarms of their own. Beneath the surface of gunpowder and cartridges, is there an even more explosive narrative ready to detonate? As we delve deeper into this unfolding scenario, prepare to encounter a final thought that bridges the stark warnings of these two visionaries and the immediate reactions of everyday Americans. Now, folks, a quick pause before we dive deeper into tonight's urgent story. You're well aware of the top-notch news we present daily, right? Well, that excellence is thanks to our incredible sponsors, who aren't just names on a screen. They are the pillars holding up our operations, and supporting them is like giving us a nod of approval, a nudge to continue bringing you unparalleled content. Take, for instance, the sudden surge in ammunition sales that we're about to unpack. Unexpected and intense. Similarly, the stealthy decline of our muscle mass with age hits us hard, but just as there are ways to prepare for unforeseen events, there's a solution to tackle this muscle decline. I'm talking about a fantastic product, one that we've tested and believe in, designed specifically to combat age-related muscle and strength decrease. As you back our stories by supporting our sponsors, here's a chance to grab your muscle defense at a whopping 41% off. Check it out at gainwithgary.com. Trust me, it's a game changer. Now, onto the unfolding solution before us. These are times when every glance at a newspaper or news website sends shivers down our spine. The world is at a brink, and America is preparing. The Israel-Hamas conflict, intense and volatile, is causing ripple effects, with World War III concerns casting a vast shadow. Not sitting idle, Americans have reignited the panic-buying trend, this time for ammunition, evoking memories of the frenzy during the COVID outbreak. An incredible and alarming surge in ammunition prices has emerged, especially for the 5.56 45mm NATO caliber. The surge isn't merely a percentage point or two, it's a staggering number. The data from ammo prices now reveals an astronomical 39% price hike for this particular ammo, all within a week span. But that's not all. The .223 Remington is also skyrocketed by 42%. It's a clear barometer of the pulse of the nation, a gauge of the anxiety that's gripping our republic. Comparing this to the surge when Russia made its move on Ukraine, these numbers are even more unsettling. We're not talking about a simple demand-supply price hike. This is a reflection of a nation's state of mind, an indication of collective apprehension. Let's talk about the triggers. The catalysts are not isolated. While the Israel, Gaza, and Ukraine conflicts are significant contributors, there is more. The declining law and order in some U.S. cities governed by radical progressives is another distressing factor. These elements, combined, are driving our citizens towards what they believe is a necessary self-defense measure. Notably, some influential figures have amplified these concerns. Take a look at what Elon Musk, an entrepreneur known for his frankness, just recently expressed. Watch.
Using diplomacy whatsoever.
I think we are sleepwalking our way into World War III. Sleepwalking our way into World War III, with one foolish decision after another, as you outlined, David. And really, people should be deeply self-reflective. If their predictions have not come true, they should consider whether perhaps their other predictions might not come true either. I mean, what is the track record here? It's not good.
Elon's warning is an alarm bell, the echoes of which resound in the surge of ammo prices and the preparedness of our citizens. Looking at industry reactions, the ammunition industry, already grappling with challenges, finds itself in an unpredictable storm again. The current surge is reminiscent of the shortages during the pandemic and the social unrest of the summer of 2020. For smaller ammunition makers, global tensions mean potential disruptions. The conflict in Ukraine and Israel could severely dent the availability of sporting arms ammo. Another concerning revelation is from the Lake City ammunition plant. Reports suggest that they've canceled all commercial orders, implying a possible large-scale ripple effect. If this pattern continues, other manufacturers might struggle to meet the skyrocketing demand. And how are retailers responding? Well, for them, the current unpredictability in ammunition pricing and availability is something they've never seen before, even when recalling ammo shortages from previous decades. As of October 21st, 2023, online retail prices for 5.56 NATO FMJ ammunition hover between 55 cents and 65 cents per round. But what's even more alarming is the sentiment echoing from different corners of the world, suggesting the gravity of the situation. The latest sentiment came as a chilling reminder from Colonel Douglas McGregor, who spoke to Tucker Carlson recently. He solemnly noted that the Armageddon we've been warned about is finally upon us. Watch.
Do you think that we are moving toward war with Iran?
Yes, I do. And it looks like the chosen destination is indeed Armageddon. There doesn't seem to be any real appreciation for the implications for us and frankly, for Europe and the world, as well as the Middle East, of such action. What are we going to do to Israel if we press ahead down this road? And it seems, listening to Secretary of State Blinken this morning, who more and more sounds like our commander-in-chief, that there is no room for negotiation, no room for mediation. Hamas must be destroyed. We must go into Gaza. If so, I think we're on this very dangerous road to Armageddon.
And zooming out, there's a bigger picture to consider. Supply chain challenges. The acquisition of essential raw materials, including lead, brass, and gunpowder, faces hurdles hindering production. Add to that the current global shipping and logistics disruptions that have been exacerbated the challenge. The transportation of these essential goods is majorly impacted. With such multifaceted issues, it's evident that the ammunition industry needs a stronger, more resilient strategy. The current events emphasize the importance of developing sturdy and sustainable supply chain models, especially given the frequent global disruptions. To sum it up, the world's growing tension reflects directly in our nation's psyche. The surging ammo prices, the panic buying, and the preparedness levels underscore a nation readying itself for unforeseen challenges. We're in a republic where citizens are choosing to be the front line of defense, echoing Elon Musk's sentiments about democracy's defense in times of crisis. And in times of crisis and uncertainty, societies often reveal their most primal instincts. The accelerated ammunition purchases by worried Americans signal a deep-rooted anxiety spurred by the looming shadows of global conflict. Elon Musk, known for his futuristic visions, and Colonel Douglas Macgregor, with his military acumen, both echo sentiments of an impending reckoning. Their warnings, juxtaposed against this backdrop of panic buying, cast a stark silhouette of a world teetering on the edge. Yet, even in these tumultuous times, it's vital to remember that humanity has always thrived on collaboration and not conflict. As we stand amidst these swirling cross-currents, our collective conscience should focus on building bridges and not barricades. The ammunition we truly need is understanding, compassion, and unity to face any challenge the world throws our way. Anti-wokeness is brewing a storm. Up next, how Bud Light's cultural gamble is costing them big. Over to you.
We've got an eye-opening story about Bud Light's struggle to bounce back from a major misstep. They're in hot water, dishing out up to $150 million in a frantic attempt to persuade distributors to keep their beer front and center. The damage is deep. They've lost 20% of their consumer base, and their once dominant position in the beer market is a memory. Despite slashing prices and even giving beer away, nothing has stopped this downward spiral, leading to serious job cuts across the board. Dive deeper, tap the link below. Gary's startling developments suggest a UN role in border chaos. You won't want to miss this exclusive. Take it away.
You're about to witness a revelation that demands our immediate attention. The United Nations, a global entity, has laid out a detailed route pointing straight to our republic's doorstep. What's more startling, 12 specific southern border crossing points are marked for everyone to see. Is this a simple guide or a chilling blueprint? And why is the UN involved? We'll explore these questions and more in this exclusive report, and trust me, you'll want to stay tuned for the final thought that uncovers the profound implications for us all. But first, a moment to recognize those who stand behind our mission. Much like discerning a detailed map, deciphering the truth in today's world can be a daunting task. Our commitment to bringing you vital stories wouldn't be possible without our steadfast sponsors. Think of your support for them as a virtual thumbs up for us. We've firsthand tested their offerings, ensuring they align with our values, and one such sponsor is My Patriot Supply. They're currently offering a rare 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food kit. In an unpredictable world, readiness is paramount. Equip yourself and your loved ones. Visit preparewithgary.com for this exclusive offer. Now let's dive deep into what has recently been unearthed by muckracker.com. They've presented us with a map provided by none other than the United Nations. Now, at first glance, this may seem like a simple map. However, on closer inspection, this document showcases a detailed route leading directly to the United States. Not just any route, but a route highlighting 12 specific southern border crossing points into our great republic, all marked with distinct flag symbols. And this isn't just any map, folks. The implications of this discovery raise several pressing questions, the most concerning of which is there a deliberate plan behind the challenges we're witnessing at the southern border? And if so, what role is the UN map playing in that? Embedded within this comprehensive route that spans 7 countries and approximately 3,700 kilometers, there's a cautionary message, and it reads, if you plan to cross the Darien jungle, remember that this route implies significant risks to your life and that of your family. It advises travelers to consider safer alternatives. Now, why would an organization like the UN provide a map detailing such a hazardous journey and then tell travelers to consider safer routes? It's a juxtaposition that we, the American people, need to seriously ponder upon. For those unfamiliar with the Darien jungle, let's shed some light on it. It's not just any jungle. This particular stretch presents travelers with life-threatening conditions, deep ravines, marshy terrains, and the potential of encounters with wild animals. They're just the tip of the iceberg. Reports suggest that those brave or desperate enough to venture into this territory face threats from criminal groups, possible heat strokes, psychological exhaustion, and the absence of basic amenities. Imagine walking miles without access to clean drinking water, sanitation, or medical assistance. The situation is further complicated when considering the specific vulnerabilities of certain groups. The map doesn't shy away from emphasizing the continuous dangers faced by boys, girls, and women. The threats aren't just from nature, but from fellow humans, with warnings of sexual assault, violence, and even more heinous crimes. There are cautions about discrimination, harassment, and kidnapping by criminal groups. Additionally, as prospective travelers make their way, some countries might shut their doors, resulting in potential deportation. The map also takes the time to point out several informational platforms for guidance, but again, the burning question remains: why provide a map of such a perilous journey and then guide travelers to seek safer routes? As we further scrutinize its discovery, there's another element we need to understand: the role of the Interagency Group on Mixed Migratory Flows, commonly referred to as the GIFMM. Established in 2016, the GIFMM is an initiative by the International Organization for Migration, the IOM, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, the UNHCR. Its primary focus: addressing the challenges posed by mixed migration, which includes refugees, asylum seekers, and migrants, especially in Latin America. While it's commendable that such an initiative exists, it's crucial to understand its broader implications. GIFMM serves as a coordination platform. Various agencies, organizations, and even governments come together under its umbrella to manage these mixed migration flows effectively. It's a commendable effort aiming to ensure the rights of migrants are upheld, providing humanitarian aid and even developing policies, but is there a deeper narrative at play? As we dive deeper into the function and goals of the Interagency Group on Mixed Migratory Flows, it's essential to understand the kind of support and resources they provide to migrants. To give you a first-hand look, we found a video on their official website that speaks directly to Venezuelan migrants arriving in Colombia. This video provides insights into the aid they offer and the steps migrants can take to access various resources from medical care to legal guidance. Now, to give you a clearer picture of what this entails, let's watch this video together.
After leaving Venezuela and arriving in Colombia, you might find yourself overwhelmed with numerous questions. But don't worry. United Nations agencies, in collaboration with national and international origin entities, have joined forces with the Interagency Group on Mixed Migration Flows, GIFEN, to develop a free app specifically designed to help us find the answers we need. This app is aptly named GIF with You, and you can download it to your phone without any cost. Once you have it installed on your device, you'll be able to quickly and easily discover, without the need to stay constantly connected to the internet, the exact location and operating hours of the nearest service points to you, where leading organizations, working hand in hand with the Colombian government, offer a variety of services. These include accommodation, food, medical care, legal guidance, or access to Wi-Fi, among other services. You'll also find telephone lines categorized by department where you can receive guidance specifically tailored to your unique needs. Useful information about the opportunities you have to regularize your situation, access healthcare or education, or to initiate and search, among others. Please visit www.puntosimidiocontigo.com. Scan this code on your phone to download the app on Android or iPhone and learn more information for your protection, well-being, and safety.
As you can see, the efforts in collaboration with the United Nations and other international agencies offer a structured response to the mixed migration situation, particularly for Venezuelans in Colombia. The intention seems genuine to help migrants find their footing in a new country, but the underlying questions remain: how does this tie into the broader picture, especially with the newly discovered map and its potential implications for our southern border? This discovery by muckracker.com showcases the UN detailing a general route into the United States has sent shockwaves across the nation. It's no longer just a matter of an unforeseen influx at the U.S. southern border. It's a revelation suggesting this might be the result of calculated planning. We cannot turn a blind eye and treat this as just another piece of news. It's a matter of national interest and demands immediate attention. So what is the bottom line? The sudden unearthing of this map forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. Why would the United Nations, a global body meant to promote peace and cooperation, provide a guide that seemingly aids a massive influx into the United States, a sovereign republic? Well, the map does highlight the risks and challenges of the journey. Its very existence and the detailed information it offers can't be easily dismissed. Our southern border challenges are not abstract. They're real, pressing, and now potentially orchestrated. We must seek answers, demand transparency, and ensure the safety and sovereignty of our republic. The United Nations, an institution formed with the promise of fostering global unity and peace, now appears to be directly or indirectly facilitating an alarming situation at our doorstep. The discovery of this map is not just an oversight, it's a potential betrayal of the trust placed in a global body by member nations, including our great republic. We cannot and must not remain silent or passive as hints of orchestrated incursions loom over our southern border. The sovereignty of the United States isn't just a concept, it's the very foundation of our nation, built upon the sacrifices of countless patriots. If there's even an iota of truth in the implications of this map, it's time for us to stand tall, question the motives of international organizations, and reassert our commitment to protecting our borders and our people. Our republic's security and the integrity are paramount and non-negotiable. Angie, Trump is at it again, this time blasting Romney on Truth Social. Over to you for the fiery details.
Donald Trump's back at it on Truth Social, tearing into Mitt Romney following a new book release. He's calling Romney a total loser and his biography boring and predictable. Trump's pulling no punches, recalling a dinner where Romney eyed the Secretary of State's spot. But Trump reveals he never considered Romney for the job. The kicker? Romney himself praised Trump's 2016 win as a monumental moment, describing their talks as enlightening and engaging. Their back and forth dates back years, from luxury retreats at Mar-a-Lago to chance meetings at Patriot games. Romney even sought Trump's endorsement in 2012, admiring his raw authenticity. But he turned down a Trump-offered ambassadorship to Russia, causing the stir. Dive deeper, tap the link below. That's all the news I have for this edition of N3 Prime Time. Now over to Gary with your comments from the comment section.
Welcome to the comment section, a special segment of N3 Prime Time where your voices, the true pulse of America, come to the forefront. Tonight's comments are fired up responses to our recent video. China just made a big Mideast move that has escalated everything. Let's dive in. First up, we have Life More Abundantly, asserts President Trump needs to be declared commander-in-chief and gather the good guys, the white hats of the military, and enforce Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution. Well, it's a bold statement, but it echoes the frustration many Americans feel. There's a palpable sense the direction of our country has been pushed towards isn't just unrecognizable, but also unconstitutional. And in times like these, strong, decisive leadership isn't just desired, it's a necessity. Next, Indy Jones pulls no punches. This is what happens when America elects a coward for POTUS. Nice job, FJB. Well, it's hard to disagree there. Leadership is tested on the world stage, and weakness, well, it gets you nowhere. It emboldens the likes of China, and to make power plays that we're witnessing now. A strong leader commands respect internationally, not just for himself, but for the entire nation he represents. And Real Melody Blue poses a question that's on the minds of many frustrated Americans. Is there any legal constitutional law or articles that could put Trump back as president? Well, it's a complex issue. While the Constitution doesn't explicitly provide a do-over clause for presidential elections, it's clear the forefathers intended for a government that reflects the true will of the people. The sentiment underscores the urgency for integrity, not just in leadership, but within our election systems as well. And here's a zinger from BedRider95. Biden saying he won't put troops on the ground is like saying the economy is the best it's ever been. Spot on. It's this kind of doublespeak that the citizens are tired of. Strong economies don't just happen, they are the result of robust policies. Similarly, peace isn't maintained by mere rhetoric. It demands a show of strength and, most importantly, resolve. Lastly, Sean makes an observation that we've all undoubtedly noticed. Where were all the people that were screaming about Donald Trump starting World War III? They've been strangely quiet about everything. Indeed. Where has that crowd gone? The silence is deafening and the hypocrisy glaring. It's easy to cast aspersions when you disagree with policy, but it takes integrity to speak out when things are truly spiraling. So where's the integrity now? Well, that's it for the comment section. Your insights, your opinions, and your voice matters. Keep the comments coming, America, because this conversation is far from over. This is N3 Primetime. I'm Gary Franchi, keeping the spotlight where it belongs, on you, the people. Now let's see who's in the spotlight tonight. I'm looking at you. Tonight on Looking at You, we're diving into the words of Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby. Now, when asked about the balance between the president's immediate foreign policy task and his long-term objectives, especially with the Australian Prime Minister's visit, Kirby's response was, let's say, rather predictable. He stated, and I paraphrase here, that the president is balancing both quite effectively, and if we're talking about report cards, he'd give him an A+. He reminds us that the role of commander-in-chief is ceaseless, with duties that are literally global. Watch.
Sort of as you have the Australian Prime Minister coming tomorrow in the midst of all of this activity around the Middle East, can you just give us a sense from the President's perspective, how is he balancing these two sort of immediate foreign policy objectives versus sort of his longer term foreign policy objectives that the Prime Minister's visit sort of embodies?
Well, he's balancing it well. He's doing it. I mean, if you want to give him a report card, A+. I mean, he's commander-in-chief. That never stops, and the duties and responsibilities are literally global. I mean, we are one nation that has truly global responsibilities, and he's managing it all.
A+. Now let's unpack this. Of course, the duties of the president are extensive, and our republic does indeed have global responsibilities. Nobody's questioning that. But an A+? In a world filled with geopolitical complexities, is it ever that simple? What's crucial here is not the grade that Kirby would give, but the fact that he's almost brushing aside the importance of these decisions. The implication is that the president's management of both immediate and long-term foreign policy's objectives is flawless. But this isn't about report cards or school grades. This is about the safety, security, and future of our great republic. The real question is, are we, the American people, ready to accept an A+ at face value without seeing the real-world results of these policies? So why does this matter to the American people? Because every decision made in the halls of power, every handshake, every policy shift, directly or indirectly, impacts our lives. It's not just about balance, it's about priorities. And what are we prioritizing? Immediate gains? Long-term partnerships? Our republic's standing on the global stage? We must remain vigilant, informed, and question the narrative. Only then can we ensure that our nation's actions, both immediate and long-term, align with the best interests of the people. Until next time, America, keep those in power accountable. And would you give the president an A+ rating? How would you grade him? In tonight's final thoughts, let's reflect on why these stories matter to you, the American people. We started off with a stark warning from Elon Musk about World War III, underscoring the precarious state of global affairs. This isn't fear-mongering, it's a reality check. The balance of power is shifting. America's standing isn't just about military might, it's about economic stability, technological advancement, and moral authority. We need to be vigilant, innovative, and strong, not just for us, but for our children and our grandchildren. Car loan defaults are soaring, friends. This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about a real American family potentially losing their vehicles, their means to work, their livelihoods. It's a symptom of deeper economic ailments, and if we don't address them, we're all going to feel the pinch. And in politics, Perry Johnson backing Trump for 2024 and Trump's own brazen moves are more than political theater. They reflect a yearning for a return to policies that put America first, that prioritize our workers, our values, and our sovereignty. It's a reminder that leadership matters and that who sits in the Oval Office sets the tone for our nation and the world. And the Bronx pizzeria drug bust, it's a wake-up call. The war on drugs isn't just about cartels in distant countries. It's about the safety of our neighborhoods, our schools, and our homes. We can't afford to turn a blind eye. And Bud Light's blunder shows the American people aren't just passive consumers. When companies forget who made them successful and abandon our values, we hold them accountable. And that's the power of the free market. In Trump's no-hold-bars style on Truth Social, agree with him or not, he's engaging Americans directly, bypassing traditional media gatekeepers. It's raw, it's unfiltered, and it's a reminder that in America we cherish freedom of speech. These stories, they're not just headlines, they're about the lives, our choices, and our future. And that's why we keep bringing them to you with clarity and conviction, because, folks, this is your America, and it's worth fighting for. That's a wrap on tonight's story. On tonight's stories, folks, Angie, thanks for those sharp news briefs, and to everyone who tuned in and chimed in on the live chat. You're what makes this dialogue alive and kicking. Let's talk about something as solid as it gets, your financial future. Imagine it as a sturdy ship in these unpredictable seas. Noble Gold Investments is like the experienced captain you want at the helm. They won't throw you into uncharted waters of precious metals. Instead, they guide you. Real customers say it best. They've navigated me through every wave of questions. No storm of sales pressure, just clear skies and honest direction. My journey to secure future feels calmer with Noble Gold's seasoned crew. Don't let your ship drift in financial storms. They're ready to suggest routes to potentially calmer waters with gold and silver. And here's something to make your voyage a little bit brighter. Noble Gold Investments is offering this free 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful bullion coin with qualified accounts. Secure your financial vessel against uncertainty. With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and a treasure chest of 5-star reviews, the time to act is now. So head to nextnewsgold.com or click more below this video to chart your course directly to their site. nextnewsgold.com, you can find Noble Gold Investments, the compass that I trust. So that's our voyage for tonight. Stay connected, stay questioning, engage with us on Twitter. In the comments, your voice matters in this great journey that we're on together. Thank you for being an essential part of N3 Primetime. A huge shout out to Noble Gold Investments at nextnewsgold.com for unwavering support. And you, my friends, are the beating heart of what makes America great. If this resonated with you, spread the word and share the link. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Oh, that was weird. Now, I'm Gary Franchi reminding you I'm not just here to gather followers, but to inspire leaders in this grand narrative that we write daily. Good night, America.